These are the Swift switches from HMX, which is a new contender in the realm of budget MX switch offerings. There isn't really any info about them on the internet, but according to this IC post from Unikeys, HMX is a manufacturer with their own production lines and the capabilities to produce their own molds, although according to John from Switch Oddities, it's likely that they're either working with KTT or closely related to them in some way based on their nearly identical mold designs. I'll probably do a follow-up video as I find out more info about them, but it does appear based on Reddit and Keep Talk threads that they've released quite a few switches already, including the Hyacinth V2, the Macaroon, and the Cheese switches. Whether they're KTT and a mustache or truly a unique manufacturer, only time will tell. But one thing for sure is that these switches are really something special, especially when considering their price. So let's talk about it right after you swiftly press that like button. Sorry guys, I'm sick once again. These kindergarten germs are no joke. The Swift switches are a standard travel linear with a twist, with a P3 nylon top, a PA 3.0 nylon bottom, and an LY stem. The total travel is 4mm, but interestingly enough, the mold of the bottom housing seems to be designed to bottom out, and you definitely have the sound and feel of a long pull linear, which is kinda unique and not something I've ever seen before. The spring is a 22mm long single stage spring with an actuation force of 42 grams and a bottom out force of 50 grams. Before we go any further, let's listen to these switches stock in my singakeyboards Kohaku, which is a gasket mounted 65% with an aluminum plate. Keycaps are GMK Handarbeige. Let's take a listen. So first off, I have to say that Kohaku is definitely a unique board, and I'm not sure if it's the best board to conduct sound tests with, at least with the aluminum plate. Now don't get me wrong, I love this board, but I can't help but feel that the Kohaku pairs best with a clacky linear, which these, despite that long pull-esque bottom out sensation, are definitely not. We should probably take a minute to talk about the different plastics used in these switches, because they're apparently all unique to HMX. So while we've seen P3 in a few different JWK manufactured switches like the Chosfox DD Jingles, the Mechanisk Aquamarines, and the Nesson Design Camping Switch, all three of those switches use P3 for the stem material. According to Dashan from Unikeys, the P3 blend used by HMX includes PTFE in the formulation to increase smoothness. As for the PA 3.0 in the bottom housing, apparently it's a softer nylon than other HMX blends like their PA2 and PA 2.0, but without seeing actual spec sheets, it's kind of impossible to know exactly how they differ and what makes each one unique. I do have to say, as a general rule, softer plastics tend to have a deeper and more muted sound signature, and these definitely trend toward the thocky side of the spectrum, even in a poppy, clacky board like the Kohaku. Especially for the upstroke sound, it's very low frequency, and I have to say they're pretty pleasant to type on. One point where I have to give a lot of props to HMX though is their stock experience. They are factory lubed, but my batch was very consistent with no crap sounds and a very nice stock experience. I usually expect the newer manufacturer to have some growing pains like we've seen recently with Maroon, but these HMX manufactured switches are pretty flawless. And that's especially impressive when considering the price, which is only 35 cents per switch. Considering that Unikeys has great shipping rates as well, these switches are basically a no-brainer to at least pick up to try, although I'm a little torn. The sound signature on these switches is pretty unique, and I'll have to do some more testing to see what type of board they really come alive in. But it's a little discombobulating, for lack of a better word, to have a full travel switch that feels, and to a lesser extent sounds, like a long pull. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Check out some more keyboard content here. I'm MakerMods, and I'll catch you in the next video.